So this is a Blueskysea B1M dual channel, so dual camera motorcycle camera, which I'm going to be fitting today to an NC750X. The thing you'll need to start off with is some sort of micro SD card. You can see I've got my little 128 gig one there. 128 gig is the most that the unit will hold. This is the second time I've fitted one of these. I know that I'm going to need to test it out first, so I'm going to unbox it and then test it. So in the box you have a instruction manual, the primary unit, which I've already put the micro SD card in, two cameras, some spare 3M sticky pads. Everything has the sticky pads on them, so they are completely spare ones. The wiring harness, two extension wires to connect the cameras with, a single USB power lead that you use for testing. I believe you can actually use that in the bike for powering it as well, but I'm going to hardwire this one. And then finally the remote control, which allows you to tell the device to connect up the Wi-Fi and also press a button to say that you want to keep a clip. So here we go, two cameras connected, the remote control connected, all to the base unit, and then this wire here is going off to a power point, which I shall turn on. And give it about a few minutes, maybe a couple of seconds, I don't know. But the red light should come on the device. You can see it's starting to light up, just there. There is actually a light, I don't know where you can see that. It beeps to say that it's working. The first green light comes on to say the cameras are up. The next green light to say the remote, and the flashing is to say the Wi-Fi. The missing green light is missing because I don't have the GPS unit, which you can have attached to this. So now I'm going to connect it up to my iPad, which I've already downloaded the app on, to make sure it's all working. Okay, so hopefully you can see it's found the device. I press that, you enter the password, which is default 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Join. And it connects up to the device as a Wi-Fi hotspot. You then find the application, wherever I put it. There we go, B1M cam. Open up the application. Sorry, because it's on my iPad, it's kind of a bit wrong. Find the application on your iPad or your phone, open it up, connect to the camera, and it will then talk about it. Once it's connected up, you can kind of see both cameras there, check they're working, and you can go into your recordings and play them back if you want to as well. Very short ones because obviously I haven't done any much on it yet. So that's the device tested. Let's just turn it off and you'll hear that it does a beep as it goes off. And that's it all ready and tested, and it all looks like good, so we can start to fit it to the bike. So I'm going to be fitting the camera to this NC750X. It's the second time I've fitted one of these. The previous time was to the Africa Twin, you can see in the background. The challenge on the Africa Twin is that the petrol tank means that you've got to route the wiring around the petrol tank. With the NC, the petrol tank's behind the back seat, and so hopefully I'm going to have an easier time routing wiring around. We shall see. The first step I'm going to take is to take out the seat and to have a look to see whether or not there's a suitable place for me to both grab power and store the unit at that point. So to remove the seat, you pop up the pillion seat to go to the fuel tank, and then just here there's two bolts, one here, one on the other side, that allow the seat to come out. So as you can see, the fuel tank is really quite tight in there, and there's not going to be enough room anywhere there to get the fuel tank off. I had a look underneath it. There is a sort of point there. You can see I've put the gubbins of the device in there, and you can slot it in there quite nicely. Plus, there's tucked up in here. There's quite a lot of room where I should be able to tuck any extra wires in, and the same on the other side. So my guess is that's where I'm going to put it. I did actually have a look in the boot of the bike, and there you can see I've taken off the cover on the battery and electrics, and potentially I could put it somewhere in there, but A, it's going to get wetter up there, and B, I don't really want to get in the way of normal servicing of the bikes, plus I want fairly easy access to the device, so I think the back there is going to be about the best place for it. So the next job is going to be to take off some of this fairing so that I can actually see where I'm going to run the wires. So it's all a bit tight, but I've got all the fairing off. I'm going to mount the front camera here, run the wiring in up the frame, and then I've got my GPS sat-nav power here. I'm going to nip power off there because it's a very low voltage unit, so that should be fine. I'm going to run the wires down here. I'm going to put the remote control, actually, you can't see it at the moment, but it will be somewhere up here on the actual bulkhead. Again, I'm not going to put it on the handlebars, just for ease of wiring, and it doesn't need to be really. You only need to press it in an emergency, so that's fine. So the wiring I can run down through these cables here, up all the way along up here, and then take it out here, positioning it in here. You can see this wire I've already put in. This is the rear camera wire, and basically I've managed to go through what's holding the rear number plate, etc. on. Put a little hole in there, grommet, wire goes through, and you're able to feed it up. It's a bit fiddly to get out, but we have to get it out through this gap, and that will all fit in quite nicely without the extension on it. So pretty much everything is fitted in place now. I've got the front camera just below the full beam. Wiring carrying around. I've taken the power from the, you can see it just here, from the sat-nav, as I said I was going to do. At the moment the wiring is all running down here, it's not terribly tidy. I'll do that in a second. Goes up, and then there's the unit, which is going to be tucked in there. The rear camera I've stuck on the back there, the little grommet going in, and that wiring you can actually feed up and just through in there. If you are looking for a auxiliary switched live, basically this plug here, which sits just there on the box, the red cable, red and blue I think it is live, and the green cable is earth, switch live that is, and that can be used. So the wiring is now all tidied up. I changed the cable ties to black ones because I went out and bought some. You can see it running down and then along here, all the way along here, sorry, up through there and in. A little bit tight in there. I tucked all the additional wires, now you can see them down in there, and the unit goes in there. It has to be kind of like free because it won't quite fit in properly, or not in a way that's really sealed in. I've wrapped it in a plastic bag just to seal it so it's a bit more watertight, and it all works, so we'll see how it goes. So that's it, the bike's all back together, all working fine. Camera nicely tucked under there, you can't see the wiring at all because it's all hidden away very nicely, all the way around, and then the back camera sitting on there. Where the back camera is, it doesn't get any impeded view. It looks really good.